What if I told you there was a colony that simply vanished? An entire community, 115 men, women, and children disappeared without a trace, leaving behind one haunting word carved into a wooden fence: Croatoan. This is the story of the lost colony of Roanoke, a mystery that has puzzled historians, archaeologists, and conspiracy theorists for over 400 years. And I promise, by the end of this video, you'll be questioning everything you thought you knew about the early days of American history. Our story begins in 1587, on the shores of what we now call North Carolina. Back then, this land was wild, untouched, a world away from the cobbled streets of England. It was deadly, mysterious, enticing. Sir Walter Raleigh, an ambitious English nobleman, dreamed of establishing a permanent English settlement here to stake a claim against Spanish dominance in the New World. And so, he led a group of intrepid settlers to Roanoke Island. The English were not the first people to step foot there. The land belonged to the Socotan tribe, a native people with their own rich history, culture, and rhythms of life. Yet tensions between the colonists and the native tribes were inevitable. The 1587 expedition wasn't the first attempt at colonizing Roanoke. 2 earlier attempts had already failed, plagued by bad weather, scarce supplies, and violent clashes with indigenous tribes. But John White, the leader of this third mission, was determined to succeed. This wasn't just any colony. Alongside him were merchants, craftsmen, farmers, and their families, including White's own daughter, Eleanor Dare, who soon gave birth to Virginia Dare, the first English child born in America. Imagine the hope and fear these settlers must have felt, staring out at the dense forests and limitless horizon of an unknown land. But trouble came quickly. Supplies began to dwindle. Hunger gnawed at the edges of survival. Relations with native tribes grew tense. Hoping to secure resources and reinforcements, John White set sail for England, leaving the settlers behind. He promised to return in 3 months. 3 months turned into 3 years. And when White finally made it back to Roanoke in 1590, the colony was not as he had left it. There was no joyous welcome party awaiting him, no sounds of children playing or adults working. Instead, there was only silence. The settlement was deserted. The houses had been dismantled, not destroyed. There was no sign of struggle, no scorched earth, no bodies. Just a single word etched into wood: Croatoan. Now, what could it mean? White believed it was a message, a clue. Croatoan referred to a nearby island, home to a friendly native tribe. Did the settlers join them? Did they adapt and create a new life together? White wanted to search for answers, but storms and a dwindling crew forced him to abandon the quest. He sailed back to England, carrying with him one of history's most baffling questions. Over the centuries, theories about the fate of the lost colony have multiplied like wildfire. Some say the settlers were absorbed into the Croatoan tribe, intermixing with their people. Others claim they were killed by hostile tribes. There are whispers of disease, famine, or slaughter by Spanish soldiers. Some even suggest a supernatural explanation, that the colony fell victim to curses or paranormal forces. There's even a darker theory: the settlers may have gone mad. Faced with starvation and isolation, did they turn on each other in a horrific spiral of desperation? Archaeologists have uncovered makeshift weapons and tools in the area, which could point to a grim fight for survival. And then there's the tantalizing evidence of stone carvings unearthed in the 20th century, now known as the Dare stones. One of these stones, if authentic, contains a message from Eleanor Dare detailing the trials faced by the colony, including sickness and the deaths of many settlers. But here's the problem. Most experts believe the Dare stones to be an elaborate hoax. Was it a clue? Or just a cruel joke on history enthusiasts? More recently, advances in archaeology and DNA analysis have shed new light on the mystery. Researchers have identified English-style pottery on Hatteras Island, once known as Croatoan Island, suggesting there was indeed some blending of cultures. DNA studies of modern Native American tribes in the region have also hinted at possible European ancestry linked to Roanoke's settlers, and yet no definitive answer has emerged. Here's where the story gets even stranger. The word Croatoan doesn't just appear in the Roanoke legend. It keeps popping up in eerily similar situations throughout history. The infamous writer Edgar Allan Poe was found delirious and dying in Baltimore in 1849. On his deathbed, he reportedly muttered the word Croatoan. The ship Carroll A. Deering, abandoned in 1921, had the word scribbled in its logbook. Even the infamous outlaw Blackbeard is said to have written Croatoan before his execution. Coincidence? Or something more profound? The Roanoke story has become a symbol of the unknown. Historians, writers, and filmmakers have all been drawn to its enigmatic pull. It stands as a reminder that not every story from the past comes with a neat, tidy ending. Some tales leave us with more questions than answers, as if daring us to hunt for missing pieces in the ever-shifting sands of history. Imagine what it must have been like for the settlers of Roanoke, that fragile flicker of hope in an unforgiving world. Did they dream of building homes, raising families, and leaving behind a legacy? Or did the land itself consume them, slowly erasing their footprints from the shores of time? These 115 souls remain lost to us, their voices silenced by history. But in their silence, they have achieved a kind of immortality. Because as long as we continue to ponder their fate, the lost colony of Roanoke will never truly be forgotten. Did they survive? Did they perish? Or were they part of something we're not yet capable of understanding? One thing is certain. History is not just a record of what happened. It's a reminder of what we don't know. And maybe, just maybe, some mysteries are meant to stay that way. But what do you think? Will we ever uncover the truth about Roanoke, or is it destined to remain an eternal enigma? Let your thoughts be known below, because the pages of history are still being written. This is the Chronicles of Human History, and we'll see you in the next epic chapter.